Well, we've not exactly been lucky, have we? I mean, it's not only Daniel, it's Wayne, and it was our two potential right backs in Glenn Johnson and Phil Jones, and before that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. So we have lost 5 players that a couple of weeks ago I was really banking on. But it's a great opportunity, you know, it's a cliche, but it is an opportunity for the ones that maybe wouldn't have got a game had they been available, and it's up to them now to do the job.
What chance does Daniel have of being fit for the game in Ukraine?
Well, he's worked hard at his treatment. The initial prognosis was that he wouldn't be fit for either of them. We didn't accept that, he didn't accept that either, so he's worked very hard to try and have the necessary treatment, but I would think it'll be touch and go, and we won't know until Sunday morning when he reports back on Saturday evening, and Sunday morning we'll have a training session before we leave for the Ukraine, and if he passes it, he'll be with us, and if he doesn't, then he'll be staying with Liverpool.
Are there any other injury concerns at the moment, right?
Stephen Corker, unfortunately, in training turned his ankle. It's not a very serious matter, but it will keep him out of the game tomorrow night, but it won't keep him out of the Ukraine game. He's expecting to do some running tomorrow evening after the game with the players who don't play, but he won't be on the bench tomorrow night. No, we've got, in fact, I mean, to be honest, we've got too many players. We've only allowed 20 outfield players and 3 goalkeepers, and with Stephen Corker and Daniel Sturridge, it would have been 22, so they've been kind enough to take the decision out of my hands.
Care to elaborate on it?
I don't know how you can elaborate. I mean, basically, no, I'm not. I mean, I think these 4 games were of vital importance. I mean, I don't subscribe to that theory that this is an easy one and this is a difficult one, and then you've got a fairly easy one or a fairly difficult one. I don't quantify or qualify games in that way. I mean, Moldova, after our initial victory against them, and I thought we played very well, and it was their first game as well. Don't know whether we took them by surprise, but we had a very good win. But since that time, they've proven very, very hard to beat. And we know they're going to be very hard to beat tomorrow night, and we're going to need to be at our best to do it. And I need my best players, or what I think are the best players, to enable me to do that. And I'm expecting, you know, players like Stephen here, they play 3 times a week all through the season. It would just be up to us to make certain that after playing the game, they recover. I would say 10 points, as long as we don't lose in Ukraine and we beat Montenegro. Then I think 10 points would see us even mathematically certain. I don't know, I haven't been doing a lot of mathematical work. I leave the statistics and the mathematics to you guys. I was never good at that at school. Mathematics was never my subject, I'm afraid. I saw
it. Is it similar to your own vision?
Of course I endorse the things he says, but the thing is, I saw the speech before he gave it. I haven't actually seen him give it, and I haven't totally followed all of the responses to it. I guess there'll be a lot of response to it, as there should be. But quite honestly, as far as Stephen and I are concerned, and that goes for the rest of the players, you know, we've only got one focus. You know, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that we shouldn't think about English football and what's good for English football and how the FA can collaborate better with the Premier League. Of course, I endorse all of those things. But our concern is, can we beat Moldova tomorrow night, and then can we get the point or the points we need in the Ukraine? And quite frankly, that's all I'm thinking about, and you know, really all I'm prepared to talk about as well. Not just with you, the press, but don't worry, I'll be saying exactly the same thing to the written press. Well, I think I've spoken on the subject, but I'm today, and as I've said to Nick, I'm not prepared to go into that. I mean, I think that it's only fair that we are allowed, as coaches and players, to concentrate on the 2 games and not to spend a press conference, which is a very important press conference for us, because these 2 games are very important for us, discussing something on a much more generic level about the future of English football. I'm pleased that Greg has made his speech. I'm pleased that it's created so much interest and is going to create so much debate. Of course, I'm pleased about that, and as an Englishman, of course, I'm going to endorse most of the things he says. But I also understand that it's a complicated subject, and I think today the only thing I can do is to, you know, bear people's or ask for people's forbearance. That, you know, we will talk today, Stephen and I, on Moldova and Ukraine. We will concentrate, you know, fully, and we'll answer all questions honestly. But we're not going to get involved in, you know, the details of Greg's speech and what that means for England in the future.